This is an OPN production.
Welcome to this episode of Olia's Opinions, the new podcast where I take a look at this week's newest and hottest current events, movies, television, and music. I am Armand Olia. I'm a journalism major at Drexel University in Philadelphia, and it is time to enter the new school of thought. Well, first of all, we're on our 5th episode, which is a bit of a milestone, I think. So I'd like to thank all of you for tuning in over the last 5 episodes, over some of the great moments we've had. I really do appreciate it, and as a result of that, I have some news. Olia's Opinions now has its own Facebook, it has its own Twitter, which means, it also has its own website. I almost forgot to say that, which means a lot of things, which means now we can talk about content that we normally don't have time to talk about on the show. It also means that we can also do recaps on the show through the website. You can get updates on concerts, updates on everything you love about Olia's Opinions. If there's anything that I think that should be covered that we couldn't actually cover on the show, it actually will be covered on any social media. So here we go. Facebook, it'll be www.facebook.com/Olia's Opinions. I believe Olia's Opinions podcast. I'm going to make sure of that. I believe it's www.facebook.com/Olia's Opinions podcast. Yes. Olia's Opinions podcast on Facebook. On Twitter, it's at Olia's Opinions. And the website is Olia's Opinions podcast. .wordpress.com. We're going to have a lot of content up there. And in fact, you can catch any of these episodes on SoundCloud and iTunes. You just have to search under Olia's Opinions. There's a lot of really cool stuff, and it's all possible thanks to you guys. But let's get to the reason why we're here. This week we're going to be talking about the music of Jack with No K. More specifically, his first album. I'm going to be reviewing his album Summer Hits of the 1890s, which is now out on iTunes and Spotify and SoundCloud. Links will be in the description of this show in case you want to take a look at it. I'm really, I want to say this. Jack and I have known each other now, I'd like to say, now about 20 years. I've known him from ever since the time I was born. He was my neighbor across the street. We've kept in contact. I've kept in contact with a lot of his family. He's a very decent guy, and he's always been an amazing musician. He's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this in the first place, so I'd like to thank him for that. Recently, he came out with his first EP, which is Summer Hits of the 1890s. There are 5 tracks on there. We have Misty May, which we actually played for you in the, if I recall correctly, 2nd episode of the show. I think it was episode 2. We played Misty May for you. We also have Las Vegas Nights, Pray For Me, Movin Down to Texas, and the 5th one, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but it's actually, I think it's still a great song. All of them are great songs, but we're gonna get to the full review. I'm not gonna give my review yet. I mean, we're not that far in, so. Waste Away. Waste Away was it. So we have Misty May, Las Vegas Nights, Moving Down to Texas, Pray For Me, and Waste Away. All of them, well, the review is coming later on. So we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be talking about the album Summer Hits of the 1890s, and I'm really excited to discuss that. So Before we do that, we're gonna do a musical commercial break. The song is "Moving Down to Texas." This is off Jack with No K's album, Some Hits of the 1890s. It's actually one of the first songs I heard of Jack with No K. He did a really good job on it, I think. But I'll let you guys be the judge. So here we go. "Moving Down to Texas" by Jack with No K off the album Summer to the 1890s, available now on iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud. So stick around. Don't go away.
I did not know that you felt this way, that you were tired of living in your pain, so you ended every level of our ever-living love, only telling me that you'd had enough. And I said no, but you turned away. You packed a suitcase and moved to my city. Now I'm broken and I'm bandaged, I'm bleeding out from you. All you said was sorry, but that I should move on too. It's easier to say that you're the one who moved. You know you misled me, it was easier on you. You can say you love me, but I don't think that you do. So I'm moving down to Texas just to get away from you. And I did not know, but I knew his name, and I knew his face, and the motive all the same. But I'm broken and I'm bandaged, beaten and I'm bruised. I'm just left out hanging, hoping that this all ensued. You can call me crazy, but I know that isn't true. The evidence is blinding when I'm not blinded by you. You can say it's nothing, but I don't think that's the truth. So I'm moving down to Texas just to get away from you. Even though it's over, I am not all doom and gloom. Helplessness is hopeless, so I'm moving on from you. You once said you loved me, I hope that you were true. 'Cause I'm moving down to Texas just to get away from you.
So that was "Moving Down to Texas" by Jack with No K, off the album Summer Hits of the 1890s. That's on iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud. Really good song. Really, actually, it's one of my favorite tunes that he's done. I really enjoy all of what Jack has done. I enjoy all the music that we have put on this show, and I'm really happy with what music we've gotten in general. So now it's time. Sorry about that. It's time for Fill the Music, which is it's essentially we're looking at all the music that we can, but more specifically, I'm actually going to be reviewing an album. I'm really excited about that. The album I'm reviewing, as I stated, is Summer Hits of the 1890s by Jack with No K. Now, I've gone over the album. I've gone back and forth, and I've been trying to find a way to criticize it fairly, because Jack is a friend of mine, and I would want to do it. I know he would want me to do it with pure fairness in mind. So, with pure fairness in mind, this is my opinion my final critique anyway on the album. For a first album and for a first showing, this is a strong start. It's not phenomenal. It's not, oh wow, like this is the next big thing. I think maybe for Jack it'll probably take him 2 or 3 albums to get to that point. But for a first going out, it's a really impressive thing. And I'm going to explain why. So normally with a first album, you want to really do one style like of music. You want to firmly show what genre you're in, firmly show who you are as an artist, and firmly sort of keep it consistent. What I love about Jack's album, which is different, is that not all of his songs are consistent. I mean, yeah, it's obvious they're all bluesish, rockish songs, and there's definitely some influences of people like Gary Clark Jr. in there. But I would not say that the songs would all come from one album. I would say they would be sort of a mix of different sounds, put together, which really works in this case because it just shows Jack's variety, and it shows sort of his willingness to adapt his sound a little bit to the track. And one of the things he does really well is he makes his songs catchy. One thing I love about Jack is that his songs are so catchy. Like, I'll give you an example. Misty May. I'm actually gonna attempt to do this. It's like in the bridge, he goes, do okay. That's why he's the singer and I'm the critic. But it's so catchy. Like, I find myself walking down the street sometimes and just finally out of the blue here, oh, that sounded bad. No, but it's catchy. Moving Down to Texas, as you heard, I think it's a great song. It's definitely one of my favorite songs just in general to listen to. Overall, I'm happy for what Jack has done up to this point with the album. Misty May and Moving Down to Texas are great tracks. Las Vegas Nights is definitely, I think, the standout track from the entire album, and I'm going to explain why. Las Vegas Nights is has a different sound from the rest of the album. I love sort of the way he does the guitars on that, and it's just sort of it's definitely bluesy, but you don't necessarily automatically credit as blues. It sort of has a new age feel to it. It definitely it feels new. It feels original, and it feels like something that would be very unique to Jack, and it would be something that like maybe 20 years down the line, we listen to a song, we hear that, it's like, that's it, that's Jack. That's Jack's music. So it identifies him very well. The lyrics are well written. I also love just the bass lick of that. When you go into the intro, it's just, it's heaven. Wow. I have so many positives to say about it, but any negatives? Unfortunately, they're very minor, and they don't really affect the album as a whole. I would say, if I had to pick a negative, it would probably be that some of the songs, I think, were a little bit too premature. Like, I'll give you an example. I believe it was, I remember what it was. It was, Las Vegas Nights. It's 2.5 minutes. I was expecting something a little longer, and I was thinking, it's like Jack's gonna go into another refrain or going into the chorus, and it just, it fades out after that. I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, this is such a great song. Why don't you continue this? Why don't you give me more? Why don't I hear a little bit more of this? Yeah, that was really the only complaint I had about it. Like, some of the songs that he did, like Las Vegas Nights especially, was way too short. Like, he should have extended it. At least give it a definitive beginning and end. It could work, but honestly, just sort of like, when you cut it off, it's just sort of like, it's sort of like, you enjoy something, and then cut it off, and it just doesn't work. Like, it's like, where's the rest of it? Like, come on, you gave us essentially half a song, and you don't give us the second half. Really? No, I'm sorry. Otherwise, though, the album's really good. It's something I would personally recommend. If you, for example, you go on a road trip and you don't know what to listen to, put Summer Hits 1890s on, just listen to it. It's good road trip music. It's great road trip music, and it's great ambiance music. It's like the coffee shops I know would probably play this. Like, I'd be really happy to hear this. Let's say at a Starbucks, I sit down and I hear Jack with no K on it at Starbucks. That'd be freaking amazing. Overall, this is a great album. Not phenomenal. It's a great album. So it's a hot, but it can be even hotter, I think. So yeah, I believe that's it. That is our episode, which funnily enough just feels a little too short, don't you think? Actually, wait a minute. Before we go off the air, I want to just check on something, because we created the Ollie's Opinion page. I actually created it on Thursday night, and already within 24 hours, we already have 10 likes, which I know is not much, but it took me even longer to get to 10 on my original page, and I'm really happy I'm really happy so far with what we got. So we have 10 likes on the Ollie's Opinions Facebook page. So okay, so just remember, the Facebook page for Ollie's Opinions is www.facebook.com/Ollie's Opinions Podcast. You can follow the show on Twitter at Ollie's Opinions. You can go to our official website, olliesopinionspodcast.wordpress.com. And then you can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at House of Armand. My website, houseofarmand.wordpress.com. That is it, actually, for our new school of thought. And until next time, just letting you know, I love you guys. And until next time, keep loving, keep learning, keep debating. We'll see you next time on Ollie's Opinions. Goodbye.